Right, my beloved Madridistas, welcome back to Madrid. Welcome back to the channel. I don't know where to begin. I do not know where to begin. This was absolutely the worst possible case scenario in every respect. This was a disastrous performance, a shockingly poor performance by the whole team, especially defensively. We went from third place in the Champions League to ninth. Because in one match, this was really disappointing. Benfica deserved to win this match. I give them a lot of credit. You could see a lot of Mourinho in the way this team performed. I mean, this had Mourinho written all over it. But congratulations to Benfica, and they squeezed in the last second with a dramatic header from their goalkeeper. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. This is why we love this sport. But I can't begin to tell you how disappointed I am. This was such an appalling performance. Defensively, we were a shambles. Okay, let's look. We now have to play a knockoff round, which is the last thing that this team needed with all of the injuries and now red cards and nonsense that we have going on. This was exactly the last thing that this squad needed. A shockingly poor performance, but we have to congratulate Benfica Mourinho. The only thing worse than our play was the ref, and this guy is I'm going to talk about the ref at the end of this video, so stick around for the last comment because I have a couple of words for him because he's a Severin Scrooge, and you can tell from the first minute that this was the case. But let's make this clear. We played terribly. Benfica deserved to win. They could have scored 10 goals. It's shocking that they didn't. But anyway, let's talk about the match very quickly. I'm absolutely livid, and this is just a disaster. We had played 2 decent matches. We look like we're trying to string a few good matches together. We looked a little better, more positive, more confident. There were some really important positive changes in our play, and it all went to hell in a handbasket in one match. Okay, let's start with the lineup. The lineup was absolutely exactly what I expected. This was very predictable, and Arbeloa is definitely showing us a little bit more continuity in terms of players. But you had Courtois in goal, Fede as right back, Carreras as left back, Asensio and Huijsen as center backs, as you expected, Tchouaméni as a pivot, Arda and Jude completing the midfield, and then up front he went with Mastantuono again on the right, Vini on the left, and Kylian in the middle. And by the way, Mastantuono had a match. I almost broke my TV. I cannot. This guy today in the first half, I wanted to kill him. Okay, let's talk about this match very quickly. Now, it was raining like crazy. The conditions were obviously very poor for good football. So this is the kind of match that you have to win with intensity and kind of courage and a big heart and fighting a lot. It's not the kind of match you're going to win with very pretty football. But there was a great atmosphere in the stadium, obviously. Now, in the first minutes, we were trying to use possession to take the sting out of the match. So the match starts, you have the crowd is into it. Obviously, Benfica players playing at home with massive intensity. So what you do is try to hold on to the ball and take a little bit of the sting out of the match. That lasted very little, okay? But Benfica's incursion started in the 5th minute, and they attacked us the entire match. I don't know how many goals they could have scored in the first half, but a lot, okay? There was an early yellow card on Tchouaméni that was completely inexplicable. It was just a simple foul. There was no reason to pull out the yellow, but the ref started to show his stripes very early in this match. In the 6th minute, Benfica almost scored. This is sort of back-to-back opportunities already in the 5th and 6th minute. It was very difficult. Huijsen tried to make deep passes on a couple of occasions, but he saw that the ball would get stuck in the water. It was just not the kind of pitch where if you're going to make a long pass, put it in the air. If you roll the ball on the pitch, it's going to get stuck. So it took Huijsen 2 passes to learn that very simple lesson. Vini was very active in the first half, but completely ineffective, just was not able to make anything happen. In the 13th minute, another dangerous counter by Benfica. And the first touch, thankfully, of this player was a little bit too long. So that didn't go in, but they just creating chance after chance. You could tell, like I say, you could see Mourinho all over this team in terms of their attitude and the way they played. In the 14th minute, Bini had a very good chance, but took too long to shoot, and of course had the shot blocked. In the 15th minute, there was the penalty that they called on Jude, which they later revised, which was ridiculous. But the fact that the ref sort of whistled so instinctively and so quickly already gave me a sign that this guy's looking to give us a penalty. You could just tell. But anyway, completely ridiculous. They turned it around, thank God. Now, the Benfica players, I have to say, they played a very good game, and I give them a huge amount of credit, but they were flopping all over the pitch. It's so irritating. Every time you touch a Benfica player, it looked like he had his head blown off. It was just ridiculous. I mean, I know that everybody flops in football, but these guys took it to another level. In the 19th minute, there was a wonderful ball by Arda into Jude. He held onto the ball a little bit too long and had his shot blocked. In the 20th minute, a fantastic save by Courtois that deflected the ball just enough to hit the crossbar, but that ball looked like it was going in. Courtois, believe it or not, we conceded 4 goals, but it could have been 15. I'm telling you, this was like Benfica creating chance after chance. Another one in the 21st minute, pushing us back. They managed to get behind our defensive line so easily. So when they played the counter, they looked dangerous. When they moved up as a block, they looked dangerous. It's like no matter what Benfica did, defensively we look like a mess. In the 25th minute, very good shot by Arda that just went wide. Good shot there. In the 25th minute, again Benfica attacking us. They hit a shot wide. Mastantuono, I have to say this, and it was driving me crazy. Mastantuono totally misread this match. Every time he got the ball, he would try to dribble, 1v3, 1v4, 1v2. This is not the kind of game. It's pissing rain. The pitch is awful. It's very hard to play as it is. And you're trying to dribble through 4 people. And every time he got the ball, instead of playing for the team in the flow of play, looking for an open man, he would try to take everybody on and be the hero himself. And he lost the ball every single time. Mastantuono should have been subbed at the half. I would not have given him a single minute in the second half. All right, I have to get that out of my system because Mastantuono drove me crazy. In the 29th minute, there's a great pass by Asensio that produced the goal by Mbappe, the 0-1. At this point, you think, okay, well, this will settle things down. Benfica has been attacking us, creating chances, but we're up. We're going to try to control the match, and things looked okay. Now, we did push in the first couple of minutes after the goal. We did push forward. We didn't look like we were going to sort of, give them the ball and defend deep. So the first few minutes after the goal were encouraging, but it didn't last very long. And, trust Mastantuono to lose ball after ball after ball to weaken us even more. In the 33rd minute, there was a great header by Asensio that could have gone in. I thought Asensio was very good, especially in the first half. In the 35th minute, as I say this, in the 35th minute, in a counterattack by Benfica, Asensio slips not once, but twice. The ball comes in across from the right, and Benfica scores the 1-1. Now, I have to say it is certainly fair because Benfica had created so many opportunities. They certainly deserve to score a goal. So, there's not much we can say about that. Mastantuono, again, completely misread this match. This was not a match for you to become a hero and take 17 people on. I'm going to say that for the last time, but that's how irritated I am. In the 39th minute, Benfica almost scored again. This was a miraculous block by Fede. Very fortunate to block that shot that was going in. In the 39th minute, another opportunity by Benfica, a header this time from a corner. Another chance in the 42nd minute. Again, Benfica just created so many chances in the first half. It was crazy. In the 43rd minute, Mbappe went down. He had been fouled. They didn't call it, and he was stayed on the ground. Benfica didn't return the ball after we had kicked it out, which I thought was kind of a nasty thing to do. Vini initially played it after Mbappe went to ground, but then Benfica got the ball. We recovered it again and kicked it out. And you would expect Benfica to return the ball. They didn't. I thought that was kind of an ass move. In the 47th minute, you have the penalty, which was the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen. Now, don't get me wrong, and please don't tell me, oh, you're making excuses and the ref. I'm not. I am telling you that Benfica outplayed us and Benfica deserved to win. That is fact number 1. Fact number 2, the ref was horrible, and he is a paid Seferin shill. And we'll discuss that at the end. But if this was a penalty, there are about 3 penalties every time a corner kick is taken. Because, can you explain to me something? If I'm pulling your shirt from the back, how can you fall forward? How can you fall forward? I think it was Tchouaméni that pulled his shirt for like 1 millisecond, but it wasn't enough to really change. And then he just fell forward. The Benfica player just flopped forward. And of course, the penalty was given. I could tell that this guy, he had to be in his bonnet. He was going to, you could tell that he was lining up for this. This was ridiculous. So let me say it again. Benfica totally outplayed us, deserved to win. Fact number 2, the ref was horrible. One of the worst refs I've seen in Europe in a very long time. So let's just, Benfica maybe created less chances in absolute terms, but they looked very threatening all the time. So throughout the second half, we tried to push forward as much as we could, but every time Benfica recovered the ball and countered, or played in possession more slowly and moved their lines up, they looked dangerous all the time. And it was just inexplicable. Our defending was absolutely awful. Okay, in the 46th minute, there was a great ball from Mbappe to Vini, who, of course, cannot score a header to save his life, okay? How many times does a cross go into Vini's head and he heads it over the crossbar by about 15 feet? I don't understand. Do you not practice this? I mean, I would take him aside and spend an entire day teaching you to head the ball between the three sticks, because the ball went right to him. It was a perfect pass. So I don't understand why Vini keeps doing this. But anyway, very, very disappointing. We were trying to play the ball out of the back, but had a lot of difficulty because even when we managed to get out of the back, playing the ball out, it took too long. Okay, like the Benfica was pressing high and it just took too long. Eventually, we figured out that we couldn't do it and just started to go long. But Benfica's press was very effective in slowing us down when we were bringing the ball out of the back. In the 51st minute, Mastantuono lost another ball, but this one was right in front of our box. So if it wasn't bad enough to lose every single ball in the right wing, now you lose a ball right in front of our own area, and Benfica got a shot off, and Courtois, thankfully it went to Courtois' hands. But at this point, Mastantuono, I don't know what he was doing on the pitch. We had to get him off. He was so detrimental to our play. Okay, in the 53rd minute, a golazo by Benfica. This was a fantastic counter and a great shot right next to the post. And again, Benfica deserved it. They were playing a very competent game. Okay, the shot unfortunately went between Asensio's legs, and I think that Courtois probably saw it just like a millisecond too late. So he did a full stretch but couldn't quite reach it. But anyway, a very, very good goal, and we got to give Benfica credit. In the 54th minute, we had the first changes, and Tchouaméni came out and Mastantuono came out. Okay, Tchouaméni because he was on a yellow, and Mastantuono because he was horrible the entire match. And Camavinga and Rodrigo came in. In the 57th minute, we had the goal by Mbappe, which was a really good play by Rodrigo on the right, a very good pass by Arda to Kylian, and a very good finish, because that was not an easy finish considering the rain and the ball bouncing. That was a really great finish by Kylian. That put us at 3-2. Now, in the 58th minute, after the 3-2, at this point, the time wasting begins. And that really was a feature of the last 30 minutes that drove me crazy. Benfica was just wasting time. Everybody does it, but there are kind of limits, but these guys took it to the limit. In the 60th minute, Vini had a shot from distance. The keeper stopped it. Our frustration was building, and as the frustration built, we started to attempt shots from distance. But of course, they were either wide or the goalkeeper stopped them. Huijsen was a little bit sloppy, I think, throughout this match. Very frustrating. By the way, he got a yellow card for the ball went out, and it was a throw in for us. And what does Huijsen do? He kicks the ball away as if to waste time. Did somebody not remind Huijsen that we're losing? When you're losing a match, you don't waste time and you don't kick a ball away. If there's a throw in, you facilitate the throw in and you hurry up. Well, Huijsen, because he's upset, kicks the ball away, which is a waste of time when you're losing. It made no sense to me. And on top of it, he got a yellow. Yeah. Anyway, Huijsen was not one of my favorite players this evening either. Now, in the 63rd minute, the match started to look very back and forth because we were pushing up as much as we could, but Benfica were countering, and they were doing it very, very well. In the 64th minute, there was a rare ball loss by Benfica back in their area. Vini, a great pass to Jude, but unfortunately Jude sort of a little bit off balance, shoots the ball high. In the 66th minute, Carreras got a yellow. Again, Benfica wasting time every chance they get. In the sort of 60-plus minute, I wrote in my notes, this match needs a Gonzalo. We need to start lobbing balls in the box. This is a good match, I think, for Gonzalo. Of course, he never came out. In the 68th minute, Benfica almost scored again with a shot that just went wide. At this point, Real Madrid was what we call roto in Spanish. Or the team was broken. So you have players up front, because we're trying to push up. So we have players up front, but then players defending, but nothing in the middle. Okay, that's when your team breaks in half like that. The middle of the field, there's tons of space, which means that every Benfica counter immediately gets to our box because there's nothing in the middle to slow them down. If they get out of the first line of press, they're wide open until they get to our box because we broke in half. Okay, you got players defending, players attacking, but nothing in the middle. That's what we call a broken squad, and we played the last 25, 30 minutes with a broken squad. Okay, Benfica, like I say, looked dangerous every time they came at us. They had just sort of chance after chance. I'm not going to recite them all, but the times that we had possession and pushed up, we just had a really hard time getting behind their defenders. So even in possession, we had to the ball went around the box so many times because we couldn't find an opening. I thought Benfica defended really well, all things considered. And again, as the frustration grew, we were shooting more from distance. Okay, in the 77th minute, Huijsen and Carreras and Arda Güler came off. Brahim, Cesteros, and Alaba came in. Arda Güler was visibly pissed to be substituted, but I'm sorry, okay? We're getting our ass kicked. This is the Champions League, and this is Real Madrid. We needed fresh legs. These are decisions that you have to understand, and I'm sure with the passage of time, he'll learn this. I think Arda's getting plenty of minutes and has plenty of chances to show his skills, but you have to accept the coach's decision. So anyway, I understand his frustration, but anyway, it wasn't the occasion for this. Fede, ironically, despite our poor play, I thought Fede had actually a really good second half because there were so many situations where Fede blocked a passing lane and managed to block a pass that literally was like the last pass into a Benfica forward. I mean, he sort of saved our skin on a few occasions. But like I say, this was back and forth, both teams creating chances, Benfica looking very dangerous when they came at us. There was an amazing save by Courtois in the 83rd minute. Then, like I say, it was very back and forth. In the 85th minute, Kylian and Brahim had a double chance, but both shots blocked. In the 87th minute, a very good chance by Benfica. This time it was blocked by Alaba. Again, the time wasting was sort of out of control. In the 89th minute, we had news that Sporting Lisbon scored. And in the 89th minute, we learned that now Real Madrid is no longer in the top 8. Okay? And at this point, Benfica learns that they're one goal away from making it into the next round. So at this point, the pressure is on. We desperately need a goal. And in the 92nd minute, Asensio gets the second yellow. Okay, that was a deserved second yellow. It was a pretty brutal tackle. In the 90s, and then of course in the 96th minute, now I thought we're going to play the last 3 minutes with 10 men. No, we had to play the last 2 minutes with 9 men. In the 96th minute, Rodrigo got a red for I don't know what. I don't know what you can tell a ref that commands an immediate red. I mean, he probably spoke to him in Portuguese. I don't think that this ref speaks Portuguese. I don't know what this guy's problem is, but this was ridiculous. The penalty was ridiculous. The yellow on Tchouaméni was ridiculous. A couple of other yellows were ridiculous. This ref has an agenda, and I'll tell you about it in a second. Okay, in the 97th minute, we had the heroic goal by the Benfica goalkeeper, and this is one of the crazy things that happens in the sport, which is just amazing. So Benfica squeaks through, and they manage to squeak through, and we don't. So we end up in 9th place, and we're going to have to play the extra round, which is really unfortunate considering how important, with all the injuries that we have, how important it is to give extra rest to our players. This was an unforgivable performance. This was horrific. This sort of reminds us of everything that happened prior to Xavi leaving. This was really frustrating, and we have to give credit to Benfica, who certainly deserved to win and outplayed us. But despite all of that, I do just a quick word on the ref, because these are two separate things. Like I say, don't confuse things. Benfica deserved to win, but this ref, look, it is very, very clear that Ceferin hates Real Madrid. He hates Real Madrid ever since Florentino Perez tried the Super League initiative. Ceferin has been out to destroy Real Madrid in every way he can. And the first clear example that you saw of this was when Vini didn't win the Ballon d'Or, and neither did Jude or Carvajal or Kroos. They gave it to Rodrigo. And that was the first year that UEFA was involved in the Ballon d'Or. So the Ballon d'Or was always France Football on their own. But in that edition, it was France Football, L'Equipe, and UEFA. UEFA was involved for the first time, and they changed the voting and all that. And that was Ceferin's first way of giving the finger to Real Madrid. And you can see now that we're not going to get any favors in Europe either. Now, we know what happens in the domestic league, which is tragic. But I think we're going to come up against this sort of stuff in Europe too, because Ceferin hates the fact that Florentino Perez and Real Madrid tried to start a European Super League to oust UEFA from their monopoly on European football. And that is something that Ceferin does not forget. So when I see referees like this, when Real Madrid plays in Europe, I'm not going to be that surprised from here on out because, again, Ceferin, despite, by the way, he was even recorded having a telephone conversation with Rubiales when Rubiales was the president of the Spanish Federation, and they were talking crap about Florentino openly. Like this guy openly hates Real Madrid and Florentino Perez, and we're starting to see it very clearly. The Vini thing with the Ballon d'Or, and now this kind of crap, and I'm afraid that there's more of this to come. But look, I don't know where to leave this. This was a horrible performance. I'm not even going to go player by player because I don't think anybody played well. I mean, Fede and Asensio maybe, the first half or something like that. But I thought everybody was poor. Everybody was ineffective. Vini was frustrating. I couldn't get anything done. Jude, totally ineffective. Out of that, not really effective either, although he made some good passes. Kylian, of course, an excellent striker, but that's not enough to win a match. And in football, that's just not enough. Mastantuono was absolutely appalling. If he starts in the next match, I'm going to be really pissed at Arbeloa because that kid needs to learn a lesson. That is not how you play football. You release that ball and you move the ball quickly and you play team football, especially in those conditions. You don't try to hog the ball and go through 15 people every time you receive it. This was very, very frustrating. So I'm not even going to go through player ratings. I thought everybody deserves to get smacked today. This was just absolutely appalling. Okay, we're going to have an extra round to play in the Champions League. Not something I'm very happy about because these players do need rest, and I thought it was going to be so valuable to at least, I was hoping for maybe even top 4. But I understand, but to not even be in the top 8, to start the match in 3rd position and to end up in 9th is inconceivable. It's very unfortunate, but we brought it on ourselves because this was a horrible match, especially defensively. It was shocking. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight as it is, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I love you all, and we just have to keep hoping that things turn around because we took 3 steps back tonight. We really did. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Love you guys, and despite everything, a la Madrid.